10 great disciples of the Buddha. Dear friends, if you think that those who renounced the world to follow the Buddha in ancient times were all serene monastics, identical in both thought and personality, you might be mistaken. In the Buddha's Sangha over 2,500 years ago, there was a king who abandoned his throne, a barber from the lowest and poorest class, a former serial killer, and renowned philosophers as well. They came from all walks of life, carrying vastly different personalities and pasts. Yet, the miracle is that under the Buddha's guidance and transformation, the 10 most outstanding figures among them became the 10 great disciples, 10 perfect pieces of the puzzle, each foremost in a specific domain, together building one of the strongest spiritual communities in human history. So who were these 10 great disciples? What extraordinary talents did they possess, and what lessons do their lives hold for us today? Let us explore right now. 1. Venerable Mahakasyapa, foremost in ascetic practices, Dutta. The very first figure is none other than Venerable Mahakasyapa. Born into an immensely wealthy Brahmin family, he chose the most rigorous ascetic lifestyle, wearing only robes stitched from discarded rags, dwelling in the forest, sleeping beneath trees, and accepting alms without discrimination. Before renouncing worldly life, he and his wife, Badakapilan, were forced by their families to marry. Yet, they agreed to live a pure, celibate life as fellow spiritual practitioners, hanging 2 flower garlands in their bedroom as a sign. As the Buddha grew frail in his later years, he once offered half of his own seat to Venerable Kasyapa in front of the Sangha, affirming his equal spiritual virtue. He is also famous for his subtle smile in the legendary account of holding up a flower and smiling on Vulture Peak, through which he received the mind seal and became the first patriarch of Indian Zen Buddhism. Following the Buddha's parinirvana, Venerable Mahakasyapa presided over the first Buddhist council at the Saddapani cave, preserving the intact Dhamma and ensuring the teachings would not fade away for future generations. 2. Venerable Sariputra, foremost in wisdom. Known as the general of the Dhamma, Venerable Sariputra possessed a sharp, unmatched intellect. Before following the Buddha, he was already a renowned ascetic. Upon hearing the teaching on dependent origination, he attained immediate enlightenment. Within the Sangha, he took on the role of explaining the deepest teachings and was deeply trusted by the Buddha as his most capable assistant in guiding sentient beings. The name Shariputra means son of Shara. He attained arahantship just 14 days after renouncing the world while listening to the Buddha teach on the abandonment of feelings, Vedana. He was celebrated for his profound humility. Despite his status as the general of the Dhamma, he was always ready to acknowledge his fault and adjust his robes when a novice monk pointed out that his attire was untidy. Foreknowing his passing, he requested the Buddha's permission to return to his birthplace to convert his mother, who still adhered to non-Buddhist beliefs, guiding her back to the true Dhamma, before peacefully entering parinirvana prior to the Buddha. 3. Venerable Maudgalyayana, foremost in psychic powers. As the bosom friend of Venerable Sariputra, Venerable Maudgalyayana was renowned for his unfathomable spiritual powers. His journey down into the underworld to rescue his mother serves as the very origin of the Ulambana festival, festival of filial piety, observed today. Beyond saving his mother from the realm of hungry ghosts, Venerable Maudgalyayana frequently used his psychic powers to ascend to the heavenly realms, to observe the fruits of merit, and descend into the depths of hell to witness the agonizing retribution of evil deeds, returning to recount these experiences to inspire sentient beings toward virtue. However, toward the end of his life, he was ambushed and martyred by ascetics of non-Buddhist sects. Although fully capable of escaping using his psychic powers, he peacefully accepted the destruction of his physical body, knowing it was the unavoidable karmic retribution for a past life in which he had mistreated his parents. His serene acceptance left behind a timeless, profound lesson. Psychic powers cannot override the law of karma. Four. Venerable Ananda, foremost in hearing and memory, multi-learned. Venerable Ananda was the Buddha's cousin and his devoted personal attendant for the last 25 years of his life. He possessed a supernatural memory, capable of retaining everything he heard word for word. Every Buddhist sutra beginning with the phrase, "Thus have I heard," Evam mi sutam, is a direct recitation from Venerable Ananda's genius memory during the First Buddhist Council. He was also the one who persistently advocated for the Buddha to allow women to enter the monastic order. The name, Ananda, means joy or delight, as he was born on the very night Prince Siddhartha attained enlightenment. Before agreeing to become the Buddha's attendant, he established 8 conditions, including one requiring the Buddha to repeat any sermon preached in his absence. Despite memorizing thousands of discourses, his constant devotion to serving the Buddha and the Sangha delayed his own realization. He attained arahantship only on the night before the First Buddhist Council. He lived to the age of 120 and chose to pass away through self-cremation over the middle of the Ganges River, dividing his sacred relics equally between 2 disputing kingdoms. 5. Venerable Aniruddha, foremost in the divine eye. Venerable Aniruddha was originally a prince of the Shakya clan. After being gently admonished by the Buddha for dozing off during a Dharma talk, Aniruddha vowed never to sleep again for 9 consecutive years. Although his physical eyes eventually became completely blind, he awakened his divine eye, clairvoyance, allowing him to perceive 1,000 great chiliocosms as clearly as viewing an apple in the palm of his hand. On one occasion, unable to thread a needle to mend his robe due to his blindness, he lamented aloud, "Who among those seeking to accumulate merit would thread this needle for me?" Hearing his call, the Buddha himself personally walked over, threaded the needle, and helped him mend his robe, creating a deeply touching testament to the bond between master and disciple, as well as the profound humility of the fully enlightened one. 6. Venerable Upali, foremost in retaining the discipline, Vinaya. Originally a barber belonging to the Shudra caste, the lowest class in ancient Indian society, Upali renounced the world even before the princes of the Shakya clan. Thanks to his meticulous and rigorous nature, he became the ultimate master of the monastic precepts, ensuring harmony and purity throughout the entire Sangha. At the First Buddhist Council, it was Venerable Upali who recited the entire discipline basket, Vinaya Pitaka, from memory. He is revered as the founding patriarch of the Vinaya lineage in Buddhism. 7. Venerable Purna, foremost in preaching the Dharma. If there was ever a need for the most brilliant orator and inspirational speaker, it was Venerable Purna. He stands as a shining example of dedication to missionary work. when asking the Buddha for permission to propagate the Dharma in Sunaparanta, a region infamous for its fierce and violent inhabitants, the Buddha asked, "What if they abuse, beat, or even kill you?" Venerable Purna replied, "I would still be grateful to them, for they have not taken away my life or the Dharma." Through his immeasurable compassion, unfailing patience, and adaptive eloquence tailored to every audience, he transformed thousands of wild, fierce locals into devout Buddhists. Eight, Venerable Katyayana, foremost in explaining the Dharma, debate. Venerable Katyayana was a master of philosophical analysis and debate, possessing an exceptional gift for logical reasoning. He had a unique ability to expand upon brief, concise statements from the Buddha into detailed, coherent treatises, or to summarize long, complex discourses into easily understandable key points. Author of several important treatises that shattered false views, he frequently represented the Sangha in debates against the most formidable non-Buddhist ascetics of the era. By refuting misconceptions regarding the self, ego, impermanence, and cause and effect, karma, he successfully protected and elevated the standing of the Buddha's teachings. Nine, Venerable Rahula, foremost in esoteric conduct and quiet discipline. Rahula was the only son of Prince Siddhartha before he renounced worldly life. The name Rahula means fetter or obstacle, as he was born right before the prince left the palace to seek enlightenment. Entering the order as a novice monk at the age of 7, young Rahula was initially playful and prone to telling lies. The Buddha used the vivid analogy of a dirty footstool and tipped-over water basin to teach him an unforgettable lesson on honesty and self-respect. Awakened by his father's profound teaching, Rahula dedicated himself to quiet, rigorous practice without ever relying on his status as the Buddha's son. Through deep contemplation on the 5 aggregates, Panchakanda, he attained arahantship at the young age of 18, becoming a glowing example of patience and silent dedication. Venerable Subhuti, foremost in understanding emptiness, shunyata. The final figure is Venerable Subhuti, the disciple who most deeply understood the nature of emptiness, shunyata, a core philosophy of Mahayana Buddhism. Born into a wealthy family in Shravast, on the day of his birth, all the wealth in his house suddenly vanished and then reappeared, foreshadowing the arrival of one destined to comprehend emptiness. He was a master who entered deep meditative states on compassion and the nature of non-self. In Mahayana scriptures, he serves as the primary interlocutor with the Buddha in the monumental Diamond Sutra, Vajrakadika Prajnaparamita Sutra. When going on alms rounds, he chose to visit only the homes of the wealthy, intending to help them sow seeds of merit and let go of greed, a reflection of his profound wisdom and non-discriminatory compassion. Dear friends, looking back at the lives of the 10 great disciples, we discover deeply practical lessons for our lives today. First, Buddhism does not suppress individuality. The Buddha did not transform his disciples into identical copies of himself. On the contrary, he respected their differences, identified the unique strengths of each individual, and guided those qualities toward the common good. Second, absolute equality. Whether one came from royalty like Aniruddha or from the poorest class of barbers like Upali, upon entering the Buddha's teachings, all became equal, just as all rivers merge into the same vast ocean. Similarly, each of us is born into this world with our own unique strengths and seeds of potential. What truly matters is not comparing ourselves to others, but cultivating our own gifts to live a meaningful life and bring peace to those around us. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found this content meaningful, please hit the subscribe button to explore more profound Buddhist teachings every day.